This institute has been wonderful. I'm a music teacher. I have a master's degree in music education, and yet I found so much that I think that I'm going to be able to take back to my congregation that I didn't learn in college. And I would recommend, if you're thinking maybe yes, maybe no, I think you would really want to do this if you had the opportunity. Please look into it.
I would tell you, if you're thinking about coming to the Institute, you're going to learn something on the first day of class that is going to change the way you lead worship for the rest of your life if you let it. The first day of class, before lunch on the first day, your worship leading is going to be turned upside down. And if you let it, it can be something that can change your life.
I'm a 20-odd year song leader, and I was apprehensive. I wanted the elders to send one of my junior guys to something like this because not that I felt I knew what I needed to know, but I just didn't know what I didn't know. And that's what I would say to anyone else is you don't know what you don't know, because I learned a lot of great things this week.
Tools that I've gotten here are just amazing.
It's not easy, it's really intense, but there's just a wealth of information that I would have even thought about existed at the time, you know. We have some great instructors, really do a good variety of instructors from all gamuts that you would consider in worship.
It's been intensive, it's been great training. I wish so much that I had had the opportunity to go through this 20, 25 years ago. I would not ever miss it, having known now what I know.
Worship Leaders Institute has given me a set of new tools that I did not have before.
You know, I was one of those guys that just got picked to start singing because people in the congregation liked my voice. When the elders of my church asked me to come to Worship Leader Institute and I heard that it was a week long, my first thought was, what are they going to teach us in a week? And I think, what have they not taught us in a week? It's amazing how much information they have sent to us. I'm here with another member from our church, and we're both just so excited about taking that home and taking that back home and getting everybody involved. We're really looking forward not just to using what we've learned this week, but to use that as a base to continue to learn. I've really been inspired by the time that I've been here.
I feel so blessed to be able to be here and to be able to have learned these things so that I can help my congregation and better myself.
The Worship Leader Institute was wonderful for my life.
I know before I got here, you know, I've led singing for some 15, 16 years, and there was always something missing. And what I found coming here is I'm starting to be able to fill in some of those holes and some of those gaps, and it has just been totally amazing and transforming. I just can't wait to get back home and share it with my family and my congregation.
I learned so many things, and we will be able to take this back to our church. And I noticed that it wasn't just about music. It's about fellowship. It's about loving God and loving people. And that's why I came, and that's what I received. It was A+. Could not have been better. I loved it, and just look forward to the next time.
Singing is for everybody. It's not just for those who can sing. It's for everyone, but we need leaders.
And so for me, this week has been a huge reinforcement into pursuing excellence in my worship leading. And I would recommend anyone to come to be a part of this.
Well, you know, the first time someone mentioned Worship Leader Institute, my first thought was, what do I need to know? I've been song leading my whole life. And it dawned on me that there's always somebody that knows something more than you do. There's always an expert. There's always somebody that knows a little more, can do a little bit better. And I thought, okay. Of course, I also learned a little more about it, but once I got there, I figured out very quickly, worship leading isn't simply song leading. Worship leading is an attempt to bring people into God's throne. And that's very different. Worship Leader Institute takes you through a week-long journey in how to transform your life. And that's the big difference in learning mechanics, in being able to have a good voice or being able to project. These are all pieces of the puzzle, but they don't make a picture. And Worship Leader Institute makes the picture. And that picture is one that brings us all to see the glory of God.
The days of leading the funeral service on Sunday morning, of singing joyful songs to God with no expression in your face or body, those days are gone if you'll come. If you'll come and get with the program and do it. You're going to learn some things that are going to challenge you. You're going to learn some things that are going to make you question it. But if you'll just do it. I'm back here for the second time in my second year, and I look back at this last year in worship leading, and it's transformed my life. I know it's transformed the people at my congregation. And so, if you're thinking about coming, you just need to do it.
Wow. I don't know where to start, really. Just the whole week has been overwhelming. I felt like I was a decent song leader. But there's so much more.
I had to relearn a lot of the things, a lot of the bad habits that I had picked up as a song leader over the years.
And so it's the things on the stage that we learn that are distracting or things that are encouraging to others. And so for me, it's been a great growth experience in working towards being a better worship leader and just guiding our church the best way that I possibly can.
When you live and breathe something for a full week, you kind of get a good direction on what you're good at, what you're not good at, and it really helps you to know that you're never going to learn everything in a week, but you can take all of the values and all the do's and the don'ts and all the skills that build the baseline, and you can go from there and actually really work on your craft, really. And you see so many good examples of people that have been doing this for a long time, and they really have something to say.
And I feel that I have a better base line or a base point to go forth and build better habits. But also, not only that, that I might be able to take this and probably serve my church a lot better in the worship ministry, and also teach others in New Zealand to be better worship leaders in their individual congregations.
My congregation is going to get their money's worth, as they like to say up in Connecticut. You'll be pleased with the kind of people that are here. People that have a heart for worship and love their congregations, love the Church of God, and that's, you can't really do any better than that.
There's something really special about this place and what's being created and developed here. If you're considering coming, don't look at it as a 1 year, hey, I'm going to camp or I'm going to this training, and then at the end of the week, I'm good to go. This is a lifelong learning experience. Whether you have a degree in music, whether you are brand new to reading music, conducting, any of that, just get here, see what the people have to say, see how the professors are also students, and we all grow and we learn together.
Come and learn how to read scripture. Come and learn how to teach people Acappella music. Because one of the things you're going to learn is if we don't teach it, it's not going to be there. It just doesn't happen. Acappella music, it doesn't happen overnight because it takes work and it takes leaders to make it happen. It takes leaders to keep it going, and we've got to teach our kids this because it's precious. Acappella music is precious. It's something we hold dear, and that's okay. We should be proud of it.
And it's a beautiful thing, but that's something that really takes time, and you can't learn it overnight. And as much as you try to keep everything, there's always something more you can learn, especially from everybody that they've brought together, from conducting to music theory to all the holistic experience, I guess, that they brought.
And it really will be something that you never forget. Another thing you're going to do is you're going to meet men from across this country, across the world, who are on fire for leading worship. And you're going to see all different styles of worship. You're going to meet men from all different kinds of congregation, and you're going to create this brotherhood. It's like going to church camp again as an adult, and you create these friendships, and we get to do fun stuff and go out to eat at night, and it's such a blessing to come and meet men that are striving to lead worship in a way that brings people to the throne of God. And you have a network. You have a network of people that you can call, and you can build each other up.
For me, this week at Worship Leader Institute has been all about that, being sharpened by my peers.
The camaraderie that you create, those bonds between you and the other worship leaders that come, and not only them, but the staff. And those are lasting bonds that as you leave this place, you continue to strengthen each other, encourage each other, learn from each other, which was such a great experience.
I can't say too much about how awesome and fabulous it was. It was really very helpful. But I think the thing that probably was most different about this than other worship seminars that I've been to, not only the quality of the instruction, but also actually the academic credentials of the instructors. That really adds a lot of credibility to what they tell you. So I thought it was blessed to get people of that high quality as instructors in this seminar.
People have asked me about the Worship Leader Institute, and they immediately go to Keith Lancaster. And they ask, well, what does Keith teach that he's so good at? I mean, what is it that he brings to you? And of course, there are things that Keith brings, but one of the true values in the Worship Leader Institute is that Keith brings people. And I don't mean students, I mean instructors. He brings people from all over the world that are experts in their craft. They're experts in areas that he's not necessarily an expert on. He may be good at it, but he doesn't know how to show somebody else, or he doesn't know how to teach someone else. But there are other people that he knows that does. And they come in, and they are the ones that help fill the whole model of how do I worship God. And the breadth and the depth of the knowledge that comes, and the ability to teach those things is outstanding and tremendous in helping us become better worship leaders in our churches.
I really wasn't sure what to expect when I got here, but I've learned so much, and I can't even begin to say everything I've learned. But it's much more than just the technicality of song leading and directing, and so my hope is that other song leaders and preachers and elders will come and experience this, because it's much more than sitting around singing, although the singing is awesome. I had a great time with just singing, but you'll get so much more than that, and you'll leave with a lot of tools and a lot of ideas, and best of all, a lot of relationships to help you do what you want to do when you go back home.
I want to speak mostly to preachers and ministers about this amazing experience. It has changed everything for me. The instructors here are just gold. Everything that we get, every single person here is going to teach you something that you think is going toward worship leading, and you're going to find a place for it in your preaching, in your teaching, in the ministry that you do for people. And so this isn't something that you necessarily come to just to pacify your worship leader or your elders. This is something you come to for you. It's going to change how you preach and how you approach ministry, how you approach worship. Today we did our final, and it was life-changing. And so if you're kind of wondering, should I come? Is it going to be worth my week? It's going to be worth every second that you're here. You need to be here for this. You need to be here to get all the instruction, meet these guys, and allow this to add some layers to what you do as a minister and as a preacher. Bring your worship leader with you. And that way you guys can go through this together, and it will enhance and deepen and so spirit-wise support what you do every Sunday.
The Institute is like trying to get a drink of water out of a fire hydrant. There's a lot that's being thrown at you, and so many good things and concepts. It's hard to take it all in. And so when you come the second year, not only is it good to hear things you may have forgotten or things you may have not put into practice like you should, but you hear things you've forgotten or things maybe you just didn't hear last year, and they improve the Institute every year.
I came away learning different things this time, things I didn't know that I needed. So the entirety of the class gives you all the tools, makes you a full-blown worship leader in things that you think you need and things that you didn't know that you need.
It is an amazing process that you go through to become a better song leader. We went last year, and last year it was quite literally like drinking from a fire hydrant. It was a lot of information, and so we had a year to simmer on it and get better at the things that we learned and kind of hone our skills. This year has been even better because it's like we're artists who are really making a masterpiece of our craft. As we get out there, we learn the little tips and tricks that other people have so that we can bring the best product to worship so that people can get closer to God. And I think one of the things that is true for this week is we're learning to be less of me and more of Him. And by doing so, we can hopefully facilitate a wonderful worship experience.
This was my second year here at Worship Leader Institute, and I really enjoyed being able to come back and take the skills that I learned from the first year. And I remember the first year being so overwhelmed, but how good I felt after it was over, and how I felt equipped to go back to my congregation and to truly lead them in worship, where before I was just standing in front of them leading a song.
The first year, there was just so much to take in. I learned so much and I grew, but I feel like this year it was polishing it even more and taking it to the next level, which I think is really important. I think it's important that we hone our craft and try and be as skillful as possible, because you don't want to give God your leftovers. And at the end of the day, what we do as worship leaders is really we're servants to our church, helping to lead them before the throne of God and to help them encounter what true meaningful worship is. And I really feel like our time at the Worship Leader Institute helps you do that. Not only do you get all the technical stuff, but they really show you what a true heart of a worship leader should look like and should be.
I came back the second year, and it was like, okay, I'd gotten sloppy on some things, and I needed to retool it and kind of pull them back in and learn them again. And it was good to relearn the skills. I still didn't work on some of the things for me personally that I wanted to work on, and that's my barrier to break through. I came back this third year really more for I just needed it again. One of the important things that you develop here is relationships with the other guys. These relationships are going to last a lifetime. I have more close relationships with these guys than anywhere else. And that's probably been the most important to me, and it has helped me to grow.
As a returning student, I would encourage all the shepherds of the churches to consider sending their worship leaders. For me, it's helped me to learn to mind the music and to find how to breathe new life into the songs that we've been singing. And so for me, it's just really given me the tools to go back and really share what the text means and bring that to life for our church family.
Coming back as a second-year student, it's a great way for me to retool.
By the time it was over, I was just blown away.
If you're thinking about coming to the Institute and you're thinking, should I do this? I've been leading singing for a while. Is this really something I should take the step and ask my elders to go? Emphatically, I tell you yes.
As I was thinking about coming to the Worship Leaders Institute, I was incredibly anxious. I don't have a background in music, in any kind of performance. I love worship leading, doing this since being a kid. growing up in small churches, and now being a worship minister in a larger church, I knew I needed something more. So I took a community ed class on music theory and thought that would help me. And so I had all these facts and information and didn't know what to do with it. So coming here, even driving into Tulsa, I could just feel my anxiety building up of, am I going to be able to handle the training that we're going to be going through? Just right from the first moment, meeting the coaches, the encouragement, of saying, we are glad you're here, we want you to be here. And that continued through the whole week, which was so important to me. I was pushed more than I think I've ever been pushed before. Pushed to come out of myself, to understand that worship is about seeing God, and leading worship is helping others to see God. But to get to that point inside of me took a lot of work, and it was uncomfortable. I just remembered almost some of the mornings not even wanting to show up in the classroom, but the encouragement was key. Coaches and my fellow students, the returning students, carried me through that. One of our coaches, Jules, gave this quote that stuck with me all week, that learning happens at the cutting edge of struggle. And so I had to struggle, but again, I had the encouragement to help me get through that. And then to make it to the final event and put all the pieces together that we learned, and to realize that I did this with the help of the coaches, with the help of fellow students, with the help of God, is huge. Now I am so excited. I could not sleep last night because I was thinking of all the ways that I want to begin implementing a newer direction in worship, in helping my fellow brothers and sisters worship our God.
Just finished my second year at the Worship Leader Institute in Tulsa, and several words come to mind. Spectacular, fantastic, fabulous, encouraging, enlightening. Hang on just a sec. Hey, I can't talk right now. I'm at the Worship Leader Institute. What's the Worship Leader Institute? I thought everybody knew what the Worship Leader Institute is. I told you a couple of weeks ago, it's where, Keith Lancaster has gathered these world-class instructors from all over the globe. And he brings worship leaders, yes, worship leaders, from all over the country. And we go over stuff like holistic worship training, music theory, voice care, conducting. It's great. You should come. Really, you should come. Okay, next summer, 2015, I'm coming back. Put it down. Okay, all right, see ya.